This is a 300-year-old, the holy crystal dragon that sees everything. But just by looking at the lowly in front of him, he obeys her. Not only did they sleep together, but also take a bath together. After that, it even licked it dry. Master, let me help you. However, the man was supposed to play the dungeon of the game, but he accidentally crossed into a game character. To test whether it was really a time travel, he actually tried to do something against the rules in public. It would never allow such behavior. However, he found that he really did it. The man found that he not only crossed over, but also a girl. Now he is on a priest account named Willis. Knowing that he had become like this, he was very calm. He even admired himself a little. But just in case, as a priest with no combat power, he should find some insurance. So he cast a contract summon, and the summoned pet is Xiaoguang. Master, do you want to ride me now? Willis was shocked. The pet said something surprising. It only executes commands in the game. But now, Xiaoguang seems to be a living dragon girl. Xiaoguang stuck to Willis and asked, "What's wrong?" "Master, are you going to ride me?" Willis also thought it was normal. After all, he has traveled through, and his loyalty is definitely fine. But in reality, there is a dragon girl who is completely loyal to him. I haven't tried it. Then he asked Xiaoguang to protect him. During the exploration of the forest, at night, a group of people were fighting against the night tiger, but they were all beaten up. The leader, Uncle Lester, was about to fight the night tiger to the death, but in the next second, the night tiger was trampled to death. This scene directly stunned the uncle. "Humans, my master has something to ask you." But one of their companions, Leon, was seriously injured. But the priest's continuous treatment was useless, and Willis just wanted to try his skills. So he tried a level 1 healing spell, but the next second, he was healed instantly. The girl was incredulous. The best priest in the city probably couldn't cure this fatal injury. It's a miracle, but Willis continued to cast it expressionlessly. Perhaps my level is too high. A level 1 healing spell can fill his blood volume. Then he checked his panel. He found that the human race he created, because of the new version update, has been transformed into a god. But he should still be an ordinary person at heart. Then the uncle thanked Willis and couldn't help but suspect his identity. With such a powerful healing ability and a companion who can instantly kill Yao Yapu, could it be that you are the Saint Country's Redeemer Saint? Willis replied that he was just a wandering traveler. Soon, they returned to the tavern in town together. Xiaoguang was already taking a bath, while Willis thought that Steel Uncle's level is at most 20 to 30. The legend level power in this world is only above 60. That means I, who crossed over at the max level, am the strongest. I couldn't help but smile involuntarily. Xiaoguang's panel is also normal. It seems that I got this. The priest's super powerful but overly cautious, boring drama. Suddenly, I found there was only one bed in this room. Could it be that Xiaoguang and I? But Xiaoguang stood up from the jade plate. It turned out that there was an abnormal energy fluctuation outside. I saw a man in black sneaking around outside. The crystal of madness on the altar is me. Although the night tiger was killed, but as long as there is this crystal, but was hid away by Xiaoguang from the window in the next second. What is this thing? It suddenly became furious at the crystal. After identification by Willis' system, it turned out to be the demon god gemstone. It's a staff used by a demon in ancient times. Gemstone fragments. It seems to be interesting. But at this moment, Xiaoguang took the opportunity. Master is wet. Let me lick it dry for you. Then she plans to go to the capital to collect information. A group of soldiers were protecting the princess against rebels. But the rebels were approaching. But after killing the soldiers, they didn't find the princess. The next second, a magic array appeared under the carriage. It was a trap. The rebels were instantly blown apart. I am human, the 5th princess of the United Kingdom, Lelia Mecalandra. Soldiers loyal to the kingdom, follow my orders. Kill the rebels. The situation on the field reversed. This scene was seen by Willis in the sky. This formation is quite something. I'm interested in this princess. But Xiaoguang was jealous and only knew tricks. If I were, I wouldn't need such tricks. Then he planned to leave after watching the play. Unexpectedly, an arrow was shot at Willis at this time. Xiaoguang angrily took the arrow. Arrogant and ignorant inferior. How dare you offend my master? Then he gathered fire in his mouth and planned to use the dragon roar to kill everyone, but was stopped by Willis in the next second. Xiaoguang, wait, don't talk, and then let him calm down, and return to the pet space. Willis transformed into the feather of God. Since they want to see me, let's meet. The princess looked at the dazzling Willis in front of her. Could this be the one? But the wings of one person are not so beautiful. Are you the princess of the United Kingdom? And Princess Lelia just stared at him blankly. Are you an angel? The woman next to her told the princess to be careful. He and another person were spying in the air just now. There was no battle. It's hard to predict. And the princess asked Willis why he came and asked if they could talk in the carriage. Once inside, the princess went straight to the point. She invited Willis to be her employee. Willis felt it was a bit boring, but the princess directly said she could offer any conditions and even title in fiefdom, which made Willis a little suspicious. After all, this is not something that everyone can promise. It turned out that the princess wanted to be the king and wanted Willis to help her because his father was seriously ill and his brothers are all fighting for power, ignoring politics. She is young and charming, only he can stand up, but his 3 older brothers joined forces to defend against the invasion of the Orc Kingdom. Otherwise, he would give up the throne. Even before leaving the city, there are rebels coming to assassinate Willis. He understood immediately. I will immediately kill your brothers. The princess just wants Willis to escort her back to the cave. Willis thought about it. He still wanted intelligence as a reward. He must tell him any knowledge truthfully. So the two happily reached a cooperation. On the way, she also told Willis about the strength of orcs. Although unwilling, but orcs are indeed much stronger than humans. The key is that their royal legend is to inherit the terrifying power. This made Willis fascinated. It seems really powerful. I just don't know if there will be 60 or 70 episodes. At this moment, the carriage suddenly stopped, which made Willis sit up abruptly. It turned out that they had arrived at the East Gate. I am the 5th princess of the Human United Kingdom, Lelia McAlandra. I'm here to coordinate the war against the enemy orcs. Why don't you open the gate when you see me? But the soldier refused to open the gate on the grounds of identity. Lily's confidant, Sister Hua, took out the secret letter and used the Faiyan Kongjat, the soldier. Arrows with fire flew directly to the city wall. The soldiers were convinced of the princess' identity. This is the princess. The legendary adventurer Faiyan next to the princess, and then opened the gate obediently. The princess was starstruck. You're worthy of being Sister Hua. Everyone in Wani Fortress knows your name. And Willis saw that. The sword just now was probably level 40 to 50. Could it be that the legendary level is only this level? At this time, the defender, Lord Redden, was terminally ill, but he was still worried that the orcs would take the chance. At this time, the princess walked in, asking what was going on. It turned out that Lei Dun was attacked by a man half a month ago, with poison on the dagger. Since then, his health has been getting worse, day by day. Neither doctors nor priests could cure him. At this time, Willis used intelligence detection, and found it was Phantom, which is not in the game. Could it be a native of this world? And Lei Dun has instructed his son not to spread the news of his impending death, and assist His Highness to drive out all the orcs. Willis saw the effect of the poison, which is probably similar to a curse, so he decided to try that skill. A beam of light fell from the sky. Lei Dun's son was scared silly when he saw this. A moment later, Willis had finished the spell. Unexpectedly, Lord Redon was fully revived, and his body was much stronger than before. Meanwhile, the orc camp on the other side. The high priest Chaharit covered his eyes and was in pain. Unexpectedly, the Eye of Heaven's secret method was broken. Could that light be a miracle? Soon after, the orcs also launched an attack on the Wanhee fortress. The human Kunir, thinking that the man, Lei Dun, was dying, he planned to take the opportunity to tear the first line of defense, just as he thought he was winning, but he didn't expect Warden standing in front of him. I heard you thought I was dead, and directly blasted him down. Then he asked his soldiers to prepare rolling oil rockets. Let those orcs see my power. Willis was watching the battle from a distance. He also asked Xiaoguang what he thought of this scene. They seem to be working hard, but the battle of these ants is just like that. Now Willis has come to the real world. He faced the death of his kind. He has no emotional response. Just as the orcs were about to attack from the sky, Willis stretched out his hand to release the 6th tier magic. The absurd door. The nearby orcs were instantly wiped out. Soldiers screamed that the miracle has come again. The princess was shocked to see this scene. This is indeed what Miss Willis did. What kind of person is she? This man. He was transported to the game as a max-level female priest. But on the way, she met the 5th princess Lilia. But unexpectedly, the queen was targeted by the priest of the orc, Chahart by the priest, and planned to send the legendary human Nevis. He picked up Mevis and told me How confident are you in assassinating the princess? But Mavis said that if there is a legendary existence in the city, 3%. If outside the city, it's 10%. But if the princess is really that smart, she would surely burn the grain and cut off the supply. Then it will be his death. Unexpectedly, the princess is really to attack the Orcs logistics troops. But Willis was confused and asked me what to do. I'm just an escort for you. And the princess told Willis what he had done before. Not only easily healed the Thunder General with magic, but also defeated the Orc King with a mysterious light. If more people knew your deeds, you would definitely be made a statue and admired. Willis was also worried about the orcs retreating. There was obviously a trap. However, the princess doesn't have time to wait. If something happens to the father, the royal succession would start immediately, and there's the threat of the orcs. And the citizens in the city are also terrified every day. Kei Xiaoguang saw that the princess was lying. She's really not candid, knowing that doing this is dangerous. So Willis offered his help to the princess. Do you want to learn my skills? It turns out that learning skills requires levels, skill points, and conditions. In order to learn time magic, Willis, he spent half a year farming dungeons, which almost gave him a psychological shadow. But this is not a problem. The problem is the NPC's skill points. So Willis used the artifact, the Niskala life magic, which is the skill tree in the game. But to what extent it can do, Willis didn't know either. Then he asked the princess to close her eyes. Willis used the artifact on her. The princess felt like she had opened up her meridians, and skills began to flood into her mind. This is the power of Miss Willis. A moment later, the princess collapsed to the ground. You're not at the level yet. Don't be too greedy. Then the princess knelt down on one knee to thank him. Although I can't change my surname to the god of Shang Kingdom. But thank you for everything you have done for me. Miss Willis felt that the title of teacher was a bit awkward. Let's just call her sister. Besides, I don't know the saint country saints is. Then Willis said he had another gift for her. It's not about being a teacher or a god, just as a friend. Soon, Sister Hua arranged a strategy to attack the orcs. The orc army is currently 5 kilometers west of Wanhei Fortress. We need to go north, along the Black River to the Orc Kingdom, disguised as a merchant, and meet in 3 batches northwest of the orc army. The princess also knew the risk was high, but it's also the most likely way to succeed. Willis wondered why not cross the river directly. The Black River used to be occupied by black dragons, and there are also many dragons after it left. No one can cross it. And this time, they are marching lightly, without any ships. That means all we need is a ship, right? Then Willis directly summoned Noah's Ark 1, which shocked Sister Hua. What kind of person could take out such a huge ship? Then the princess pulled Sister Hua and was ready to go. I said Willis' sister is omnipotent. And Hua also noticed that in just one night, Lilia's strength has increased so much. But unexpectedly, Xiaoguang was jealous after getting on board. Master, just look at that woman. Ignore Xiaoguang. But Willis thought it was just curiosity. How far he can go. At this time, the princess noticed something ahead. All on guard. It was the Heihe Guardian, Nesarian. You lowly humans, how dare you trespass into my Black River territory? Willis stared at him blankly. And the next second, he stepped on him hard. That's all. At this moment, Xiaoguang in the pet space was already yawning boredly, thinking about what interesting things to do, but suddenly found that the teleportation space opened. Xiaoguang happily thought his master was coming for him. Ghost Yujin misses you so much, but he found something was wrong. But what appeared in front of him was a turtle, and Nesarian found that its breath was stronger than his husband's dragon bloodline. Unexpectedly, Xiaoguang directly ignored the turtle and sat on the turtle shell. Master, did you bring me food? This turtle can't be eaten. But there are some things that are inconvenient to say, so he asked Nesarian to say, what you want to talk to me alone? Sure enough, this is the realm of the gods. You are indeed a god. Do you know me? What is a god? Willis thought. Could there be other time travelers besides himself? It turned out that Nesarian sensed that Willis and his father's master Olivia have similar auras. But thousands of years ago, my father and Olivia left the Black River and never heard from. Then Willis took out something to show him. Nesarian immediately recognized that it was a fragment of Lord Olivia's staff. Master Olivia's staff was broken. Could it be that my father? He started crying and rolling on the ground. Could Olivia be a player like me? On the other side, Kanyo was guarding the grain, but suddenly smelled a strong smell of smoke. He opened the tent and found something wrong. He found the surrounding area was surrounded by fire, and the other orcs were all killed. there's an enemy attack. But in the next second, he spat blood. A sharp sword directly penetrated his chest. It turned out that Sister He had already aimed at him. The enemy general has been killed. And Willis walked up to him. It's quite cute. He died shortly after his appearance. It's a pity, but suddenly he sensed a breath behind him. Will he find me? No, I have the skill to eliminate my presence. He then turned around and left at full speed. It must be my illusion, but Willis had already noticed it. But he just didn't want to chase. It seems that a little mouse is running around. And he also came to the high priest. Chihari was a little unbelievable. The princess has come to the mansion so soon, a month earlier than expected. But did you just run away in such a hurry? Or did you meet someone stronger? He is the 7th Jade Craftsman of the Eternal Jade Craftsman. Prataka said he just didn't want to startle the snake. He will take action when he is sure. Then Chihari ordered the army to attack the Wonhee fortress. This will be the last battle. But remember, at this time tomorrow, retreat immediately no matter what the outcome is. Retreat from south to north into the country. The existence of the gods will be tested by you, the Eternal Jade. But Willis heard it all clearly. What is the eternal desire? Sister He explained that it was an underground cult through undead magic to achieve immortality. That means it's a cult. It's rumored that the 12 imperial seats have legends. At this time, Princess Lilia also arrived at the rear of the orcs. I didn't expect humans to help the orcs. My brother did everything to get rid of me. But with a wave of her hand, everyone immediately charged into battle. I didn't expect Willis was still studying this formation. It looks quite rough. Could it be that they used this to transport food? Suddenly, an attack hit the princess. Seeing this, Sister He and shot a sword and blocked the attack. A white-haired man appeared at this time. After several years, your swordsmanship has become more refined. You haven't improved at all. The princess didn't expect that. The man in front of her was actually the world's #1 martial arts master. But wasn't he already dead? But Willis secretly laughed. Things are getting interesting. It turns out that he did die early, but he met the immortal Jade Craftsman, which gave him endless power, undead magic, and he is currently the 6th of the immortal Jade Craftsmen. Antonio Stevenson. He came to take the princess's life this time. Hearing this, the princess quickly asked He to leave. It's a trap. However, Sister He didn't move. It turns out that he followed the princess to the front line, was to find clues about the immortal Jade Craftsman. Today, I must have a showdown with him. The princess scolded him for being stupid. No matter what you do, you are my friend. You must live. Okay, I promise you. However, Antonio interrupted them at this time. You still have interest in acting in a play? You escaped from me in a sorry state. Do you forget? Then the other 2 royal seats appeared. 2 people wrapped in bandages appeared at this time. Barker and Bauk. Miss He and 3 legends? Antonio was a little curious. You can still laugh in such a desperate situation. And Miss He rushed towards Antonio directly. Your opponent is me. The other 2 legendary characters were also ready to fight. Seeing this, the queen also wanted to take action, but Willis stopped her. These 2 are too early for you now. I'll leave the undead to you. You're still responsible for your soldiers, aren't you? Let me play with these 3 monsters. Then he launched the blood arena towards them. This dual arena can forcibly shorten the distance within a specified range. This space doesn't distinguish between life and death, or you can't escape within 24 hours. But the side effect is that no skills can be used. They can only fight each other in the game. Willis couldn't help complaining. What was the designer thinking when he designed this skill? But in this way, no one will disturb them. Unexpectedly, the 2 legends were not panicked. They walked towards Willis slowly. Do you think this is all our combat power? At this time, the princess was also dealing with other orc groups. The legendary human Mevis in the distance was staring at her. Strange, why can't I see his death? Then he teleported in front of the princess. Forget it, you can die now. Then he gave a fatal blow. But what Mevis didn't expect was that the queen was intact. It turns out that the passive Ascension Talisman that Willis cast on him can automatically resist damage up to 99,999 with a 24-hour cooldown. Willis is fighting against 3 legendary bandage monsters. Urged the 7th operation, Prataka, to act quickly, but Prataka begged for mercy on his knees. It turns out that he is a natural assassin. His talent is to eliminate presence. The only advantage he has is now seen through. At this time, the bandage monsters kept attacking Willis, but Willis waved his staff gently. He shattered all the bandages in front of him and destroyed them. Willis also mentioned that he can't get out of this space unless only 1 person is left, or wait 24 hours. Palaka was a little panicked. Would you kill me? But Willis reassured him. He would resurrect him after killing him. Meanwhile, Sister Hua and her master Antonio are still fighting. Ming, you learned the second form of the Red Lotus 6 styles earlier than me, but why are you still using the first form? Could it be that the days of the country's downfall make you forget how to draw the bow? Sister Hua retorted that you have no right to say me. You're just a walking dead. Then they used the first and second forms of Hongglian respectively. The two attacks collided fiercely, and Antonio planned to use the third world. However, Hua Xin him. You regretted before you died that you couldn't learn Hongglian swordsmanship. Only in the realm of God is it possible. Of course I remember. Everyone thinks that he created the Red Lotus swordplay, but only I know. I'm just a mediocre person who only knew the first 3 worlds if it weren't for the eternity desire to resurrect me. But Sister Hoa directly interrupted him. Do you remember you liked drinking and only liked the wine in the old tavern in West City? And you liked sleeping in the tree. You can't forget the widow at the village entrance. You thought the magic of immortality was real. You're just a puppet with Antonio's memories. But Antonio directly drew his bow. Arrogant boy. But Huaji calmly used the Red Lotus sword technique, which is like a stream of light, which his master didn't expect him to understand. The third life completely surpassed Antonio and took the first step into the realm of the gods. Sister Ho told him he was just lucky. He had only slightly touched the realm that belongs to gods, and the result of this time was probably within his expectations. And Antonio also saw that. Is that the priest? Could it be that the real god has descended? Sister Ho looked up at the sky. I don't know if he is a god. I only know that he is on our side. Antonio also completely admitted defeat. Hurry up and save the princess. Stop chatting with me, an old man. And his body slowly dissipated with the wind. Before leaving, Huaji also thanked her for remembering her. Meanwhile, on the other side, Mavis was amazed by the princess's strength. The information said you were just a novice, but you're actually comparable to an eagle-level adventurer. The princess smiled calmly. Thank you for your compliment. The next second, Mavis launched an attack on her, but was blocked by Sister Hoa's sword. It seems that I'm not late. Mavis realized that. Legendary Antonio also said that, remembering the master's instructions, even if the mission could not be completed, he must retreat immediately, but Mavis was bent on doing it. Sorry, priest. I don't want to lose. She then plunged the sword into her chest. It turned out to be the teacher, fox spirit, secretary. A terrifying energy burst out of his body. Even if Sister Hua used the fourth form of Scarlet Lotus, couldn't stop the arrival of the Death Star. This shocked them. Could this be a false god? The Death Star. The Death Star and the Death Star looked at the princess, but still couldn't see his fate of death. Could it be that your fate has been changed? At this time, Willis also appeared. He took out his staff, and a huge magic circle appeared in the sky. Willis seemed to have turned into a golden angel. I said, there must be light.